Hey, what up, Dodgers Nation? Doug McCain here. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at DMac_LA. For all things Dodger baseball all off-season long, be sure to hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell, and if you want to see us post even more Dodgers content, smash that like button. And as always, I want your take down below in the comment section. Today's Dodgers Nation question of the day. Was the Dodgers not having Joc Pederson this season something, nothing, or everything? Did they make a mistake by not trying to re-sign him? And also, would you want to see him back with the Dodgers? And lastly, will you be watching the 2021 World Series? If so, throw out those predictions. Who do you got in how many games, and who will win the MVP? I want your takes down below in the comment section. And for all latest Dodgers news, head over to DodgersNation.com. So I don't know about you guys, but I'm still processing the Dodgers losing in the NLCS, coming up 6 games short of going back-to-back. The entire year I was trying to will the Dodgers versus the Astros in the World Series. That was my spring training pick, but unfortunately, only the Astros made it back to the World Series and not the Dodgers. I thought it would have been great for Major League Baseball. I thought it would be must-see MLB. It would have been a ratings bonanza, but I digress. It will be Braves versus the Astros in the Fall Classic, and by the sound of it, it doesn't look like Dodger fans are too eager to tune in. We put this out on the Dodgers Nation Twitter account this morning. Are you going to watch the World Series? And 24.8% of you said yes, and 75.2% of you said no. That was 3,473 votes. And then also, who is your pick to win the 2020 World Series? And 84.3% of you said the Braves, and 15.7% of you have the Astros winning the World Series. Me, I'm going to go with the Atlanta Braves. There's no way I could pick the Astros. I'm going with the Braves in 6 games, and I think that Freddie Freeman wins World Series MVP. That's just who I'm going with. I hope with Joc Pederson. He's the guy that had a chance to win it in 2017, although I think if Kershaw finishes that strong start in Game 5, that's his award. But still, I hope Joc, he gets him back, because you know Joc's already got the MVP, the most valuable pearls, and I hope that he wins the World Series MVP. But I think it'll be Freddie Freeman, but I will be rooting for Joc Pederson. Hopefully somehow he finds a way to win that award. But the first thing I want to talk about today is the article that Joc Pederson wrote in the Players Tribune. Yes, guys, Joc Pederson can write, okay? Joc Pederson, a very smart dude here, and he wrote a piece in the Players Tribune, and I thought it was really cool, the quote he had about his former teammates that came up to him after the Dodgers were eliminated by the Braves in Game 6, and he said, "It's a couple of former teammates I'm really close to coming up to me post-game and saying, hey, I love you, now go beat the Astros for us." So I thought that was really cool. The Dodgers going up, showing him some love, because, hey, yes, it's a new Joc City, but it's the same old Joc, and you love what he's done down in Atlanta, and I hope he has a big series, and yes, I hope he does beat the Astros for the Dodgers. But the main thing I want to get into today was some comments that Joc Pederson made in Andy McCullough's piece for The Athletic, where Joc said that he wanted to stay in LA, and they basically all but told him that they were moving on. They made no effort to re-sign him, and this is from the piece. Andrew Friedman told Pederson how much he meant to the franchise. Then Friedman explained why the current structure of the roster meant Pederson would have to play elsewhere in 2021. It would go on to say, basically Pederson told The Athletic on the ground floor of Truist Park after Game 2 of the National League Division Series, the message was, we're not going to be in on you. So just think about that. Joc Pederson, a player that the Dodgers drafted and developed. They turned him into an all-star. They turned him into Mr. Joctober. They weren't even in discussions with trying to bring him back. So what did Joc Pederson do? Well, he ultimately signed a 1-year deal with the Chicago Cubs. The deal was worth $7 million guaranteed, split between a $4.5 million base salary for 2021 and a $2.5 million buyout of the option in 2022, worth $10 million if exercised. It also included $500,000 in incentives. So he ends up signing with the Chicago Cubs, and what do the Dodgers do? Of course, course, they give Trevor Bauer that big 3-year, $102 million deal where it would pay him $40 million for the 2021 season, and if he would opt back in, the next year give him $45 million for 2022. So what makes this really hurt is the fact that Joc Pederson, he was willing to stay on and play this role for the Dodgers. Kike Hernandez was a different story. He's a guy that wanted a chance to get 500 plate appearances. Well, Joc, he would have gotten time in this outfield. Yeah, the injury to Mookie Betts. Yeah, the injury to Cody Bellinger. A.J. Pollock gets injured, and then you see what he's been able to do this postseason. Joctober is real, and this year in the postseason, he has a .909 OPS, 3 home runs, and 9 RBIs. So having Joc Pederson this October would have been big, just simply so he didn't have to face Max Scherzer and hit that 2-run shot there in Game 2. Now, in the regular season, he had an up-and-down regular season. With the Cubs, he had a 91 OPS. With the Braves, he had a 96 OPS. He hit 11 home runs with the Cubs and 7 with the Braves. But I think keeping him in Los Angeles, that clubhouse figure that he is, a very popular guy on the team, really was an underrated glue guy. They love him in LA. I think they let him get away. Now, the Bauer thing, in hindsight, of course, it's going to look bad because they essentially got a few months out of him. And also, when he was placed on administrative leave, he taxed Julio Urias and Walker Buehler's arms more than they should have because they were forced into so many bullpen games. They had to try to get everything they could out of Buehler and Julio, and we saw what happened in October. They ran out of gas. So the Bauer deal ultimately backfired on the Dodgers because they gave up some key depth pieces, and they banked on the fact that some of these young guys were going to step up, like the Zach McKinstry's of the world, and they just didn't. And the thing what really makes this hurt on top of everything else was after the Dodgers lost Game 6 of the NLCS, Dave Vassegh pointed out on post-game Dodger Talk on AM 570 that the Dodgers, they were already inquiring about Max Scherzer after Dustin May was lost for this season. So a lot of people out there assume that they went after Mad Max to replace Trevor Bauer, when in reality, they went after Mad Max to replace Dustin May originally. So imagine, last year you could have had a roster of Joc Pederson, you could have had more depth pieces. So it is easy to look back and second-guess things after the fact. And the Dodgers, they thought that was the move to make at the time, but ultimately it backfired, and it really cost them in the postseason. But when it comes to bringing back Joc Pederson, would the Dodgers consider it? Like, I think at this point, would Joc Pederson want to come back to the Dodgers? After reading that, would you really want to come back to an organization that didn't believe in you, that basically wanted you to leave and not make an aggressive offer? I mean, I guess they could try to mend things, but it just feels like the Joc Pederson era is over in Los Angeles, and I don't expect him to be back. Now, I do think they missed him this Joctober. I think it would have been great to have him in this postseason run. And then also, like I said before, after all those injuries, he would have gotten significant playing time. And then next year, you do have the DH, so that's also something else to consider. But let me know down below in the comments section. I have a ton of questions for you guys. One, who do you think would have won the World Series MVP had the Dodgers had beaten the Astros? Would it have been Clayton Kershaw, or would it have been Joc Pederson? And then, do you think the Dodgers made a mistake by not bringing him back? Also, would you like to see him back in LA? And finally, will you be watching the 2021 World Series? And who do you have winning? Is it the Braves or is it the Astros? And who will win the World Series MVP? Let me know down below. My name is Doug McCain. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at DMac_LA. For all things Dodger baseball all off season long, be sure to hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell, and if you want to see us post even more Dodgers content, smash that like button. For all the latest Dodgers Nation merch, head over to gearup.la. Some of the best Dodger t-shirt designs in the game. You're going to find it right over there at www.gearup.la. Download the Dodgers Nation app for my Android and iPhone users. And until next time, think blue, bleed blue, and I'm out.